What's up, guys? Today I want to have a serious conversation with you. This is the dark side of being a financial advisor. The stress, the betrayal, what they don't tell you. I don't want to make this video too long. I'm going to get right into it. Make sure to like and subscribe. Show YouTube there's value in this video. So when I was first starting out, you have to understand the only thing that matters in this business is your numbers. They don't give a shit about you personally, the management that is. They want you to hit your numbers, hit your sales goals. And I totally get it. I owned a firm as well, which I really haven't talked about yet on this channel, but I will. You got to hit your numbers. That's the only thing that matters. And what comes along with that, especially being new or being young and inexperienced in this business, is a lot of stress. A lot. I sprouted a lot of gray hairs. Fortunately, I didn't lose any hair, but the stress that comes along with it is almost unbearable because there's so much pressure on you to close. You have to be a closer. If you're not closing deals, you're not shit. Even if you have one good month where you produce 30, 35,000 in revenue, the next month you start over at zero and you're nothing again. You're still shit. So when I was in my young 20s, I was really stressed out in this business. I've really never told anybody this, but I had a lot of stomach problems. Plus I was drinking a lot to cope with all this stress. I was smoking. It was a horrible, horrible spiral. My stomach problems, I won't get any details, but I was running to the bathroom about 8 times a day. It was really, really bad, guys. Looking back, it really toughened me up, but this extreme stress, you could feel it. It was a tangible stress. I had stress in my neck. I would grind my teeth at night. My whole neck and my upper back would always be tight. I'd constantly be cracking my neck and trying to stretch it out and loosen up. And only until when I finally made it and had some less stress and more freedom and more money in my life, I realized, oh, those were just stress headaches. Oh, I don't have a bad stomach. It was just stress. So some of the causes for it, like I said, the performance is the only thing that matters in the business. That's it. Having your manager constantly yell at you, constantly telling you, get on the goddamn phones. You need to close. Where are you at for the month? They'd bring you out into the room and we'd have rookie meetings and they'd say, okay, what'd you close? This, that, what'd you close? Nothing. Dan, what'd you close? Oh, I closed like 30 grand this month. That's nothing. You need to add a couple zeros to it. We need you to bring in at least 2 million this month. And just the stress of that is almost unbearable. Now, let me give you a personal example about this piece of shit I used to work with at the broker-dealer. Now, when somebody quits or more likely gets fired, what happens to all their clients? Whether it's just a few or a few dozen. Well, they get scattered out around the other brokers. Now, if you're a rookie broker and you're still on the floor, basically in the cold calling pit, when you get fired, all those clients get scattered out to the other rookie brokers. They're not going to go to senior brokers. They don't really even need that shit. So it goes to the first, second year guys. So what incentive does that cause? That creates an incentive to get these other guys fired so their clients get scattered to you. So people would purposely try to get other brokers fired, intimidate them, tell them they're not shit, XYZ, maybe rat them out, hit them on a compliance issue. Oh, he did that. I saw him do that, blah, blah, blah. That's not compliant. Now, there's this piece of shit I worked with. We'll call him, let's make up a name. Let's just say JR. This piece of garbage, JR. So he was the same age as me, same city. And he, I think, was really jealous of me. He knew I pretty much had a similar background to him. We came up the same. We knew some of the same people. He wanted to make it. He wanted to be the big shot at this firm, and obviously so did I. But we ended up teaming up. We're kind of friends, kind of cool. Yeah, we knew the same people, blah, blah. We teamed up on this one prospect, this lawyer. He worked downtown Detroit, so did we. So we booked a meeting with this lawyer. We had a dual meeting with him. The lawyer pretty much was like, yeah, I like what you guys are talking about. I'll probably move forward with you. This piece of fucking shit stole the client from me. He's like, hey, I'm taking him solo. I already talked to him. He's mine. I was like, what? So I emailed the lawyer right away. He's like, yeah, I'm just going to go with JR, blah, blah. It's like, you piece of shit. I helped him plan for this meeting. I helped him close this guy, and he fucking stole him from me. And there's not a goddamn thing I could have done. Nothing. In that same firm, there was always talks about, hey, let's go down to the alley. Let's fucking fight. Let's fucking throw down in the alley. Take off your suit. Let's do this. Take off your jacket and tie. It never came to that, but there was always a threat of violence, of let's go in the fucking Detroit alley and fight. This is fucking true stories, guys. So really when it comes down to it, there's no best friends in this business. If you want a friend, get a fucking dog, because it's cutthroat. At least when I was in the business, that's what it was like 15 fucking years ago. No one gave a shit. When I was at the wirehouse, every month, guys were getting fired, guys were quitting, guys were going to new firms. And when they left, it was like a group of just vultures going through their desk, looking for leads, tearing it apart, reading the notes. Oh, call back next month. Oh, I got a lead. I got a number. This guy wants a call back. There's no friends in this business, guys. There's no friends. It's all bullshit. Because when you leave, your coworkers are going to be rummaging through your desk trying to find anything they can to close a deal. Just thinking about this now, I'm having flashbacks. I remember this one time, I was young 20s, just started out. I was so scared and so insecure, I called this lawyer. If you saw my video on my 300 cold calls, I called the entire bar journal for the Lower Peninsula of Michigan. And I was so scared and nervous, I didn't want to say my last name. So I called him like, hey, this is Dan from XYZ firm. He goes, Dan? He goes, you're not even going to tell me your last name? He goes, what are we at, a fucking bar? He goes, don't ever call me again. And just that rejection as a young man. You think having girls reject you is bad. Imagine being a salesman and not being able to close. Just being on those phones constantly for 8, 10 hours a day, going to meetings, meeting with somebody twice, sometimes 3 times your age, and knowing you're not shit. That's a very humbling experience. And when they tell you no, every no you get toughens you up, and prepares you for the next meeting, where hopefully you'll have your shit together and they'll say yes. And those yeses, they get easier a little bit, more and more, a little bit easier every single time. But it takes dozens and dozens, if not hundreds, of no's before you get to a yes. The rejection and the betrayal will build up and it will eat you alive if you can't get a hold of it. You need confidence in this business. You need to understand you're going to get kicked around, you're going to get shit on. It's going to take a long time to make it in this business. Really, any sales profession. So I share this with you because I want you to know what it's really like. What the business is like now, I know a few people still in it. It's kind of mellowed out a little bit, but back then it was fucking cutthroat. And I guarantee you, people are still doing these things, but to a lesser extent and more subtle. But you know what? It can also be a blessing in disguise because it made me who I am today, and I'm fucking tough as nails because of it. So if you can survive it, you're going to come out tough. And you're going to come out a true polished salesman.